Welcome to the Fitness and Finance Podcast with Jeff Smith from The Retirement Smith and Jennifer Scherer from Fredericksburg Fitness Studio. True wealth isn't just about finances. It's about maintaining a healthy body and a secure financial future. The Fitness and Finance Podcast is here to help you build strength in both areas, tackling financial strategies for retirement while also discussing ways to stay active, healthy, and energized. Now let's get started with Fitness and Finance.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, here we are. I love it. We're back. We are back after a great 4th of July weekend.
Yes.
Heard you guys had a great 4th of July party under the heat dome.
Yes.
And tried to probably keep it inside due to air conditioning, right?
Yes, we did stay inside most of the time. Yeah.
You didn't go up on that roof? I bet it was sweltering up on that roof.
It was.
Well, because we don't have shade up there, it's like baking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we decided not to go up on the roof.
We could tell the story about why you don't have shade up there.
Yeah.
Some code that the city won't let you put up an awning up there.
Know.
Unbelievable.
Height ordinance.
It's annoying.
There's a height ordinance.
There's a height. Yes.
Even for shade, like it's not. You're not building.
Well, we were gonna try to put an actual pergola for shade up there.
Sure. Yeah.
And they weren't having it.
They were like, no, sorry. Yeah. But Castiglia's down the street could do it.
I know.
But they made it under the.
It's
almost like
they got grandfathered in.
I know.
Almost like they knew somebody on the board or something.
Right.
Yeah, on the city council. Well, hey,
Town hall.
Yeah. Well, for my weekend, and then we'll get into you guys, it's your show, but I will say that you guys influence me. I try to listen to your advice on health.
Nice.
Right. Finance and health. And especially Jennifer. If Jennifer does it or says it, that's what I try to do. So I spent my weekend. I did all my laundry in the bathtub using just body wash. Because Jennifer, I love taking Jennifer's advice, and I'm like, okay, I'm sitting there eating green beans out of a can.
Yes.
And then doing some wash in the tub. My wife's like, what are you doing? And Jennifer said, Jennifer did it. It's got to be the best.
Do you know, it reminds me of that Seinfeld episode when Kramer was like washing all the vegetables in his bathtub. Do you remember?
Good Lord. That's terrible.
Combined vegetables and bathtub.
Yeah. That's not good.
Gross.
Yeah, I guess we kind of did go in that direction there. Well, hey, I did end up seeing some fireworks
cool.
Over the extended weekend. How about you guys? Did you see any fireworks?
A few. Mm-hmm. We did go up on the roof.
We did.
For a very short period of time before it started raining.
We had at least a 360 view of
different ones.
We had a 360 view of degree view of fireworks. We had some over Old Mill Park, which was directly across from us. Then we had something in South Stafford, it looked like.
Yeah.
And then over by the ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we had some amateur stuff that was going off.
In the neighborhoods.
And then we had God's Light Show, which was pretty amazing. Oh my gosh, the lightning was incredible.
Yeah.
Huh. It was unbelievable.
Cool.
Yep. So, and we had great friends over. We had a wonderful time. We had some chicken and burgers, and
it was awesome.
Yeah, we threw down in the kitchen.
Yeah, Jeff is an amazing cook.
Well, we were supposed to do it on. We have this nice grill up on the rooftop.
Yeah.
But it was just a little too hot to be up there grilling. So
yeah.
We didn't want to get the scene from So I Married an Axe Murderer, where they are outside after the wedding.
Yeah.
Or the reunion or the anniversary party.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter was visiting your area from Minnesota over this last week. She spent the week in Reston.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because her grandma, my mother-in-law, and my brother and sister-in-law live there, and so she was staying at their place. So
okay,
and my wife will be out there all next week. She leaves on Saturday, this next Saturday, and she'll be gone. She'll be out there a week.
Nice.
So I might send her over there for a workout.
You should.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I would love to meet her.
That would be great.
Yeah, Sarah's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she would love to meet you guys too. Maybe we'll set something up.
That'd be great.
But now you guys, plus Fredericksburg's a fun little town to visit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I love it. The old downtown, I love that. Some great places to eat. Wow,
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. So we're talking about. First, what did you guys? You had a party on the 4th. We talked about that. You also have a farm. You went out there, right? To your farm.
Yes.
What did you do at the farm?
Oh, it's so fun.
We picked a lot of it. We had a really good harvest here.
I just enjoyed being out in the yard, which is like not usually like me, but
she was weeding.
I was literally weeding and enjoying it.
Yeah.
And we live on this road that's really, amazing to cycle. So we got out early and rode, and it's just rolling hills and just wonderful.
Rode your bikes?
Yeah. Yeah. And we're only like 20 minutes from our very first date on Old Rag. So
the hiking is right there.
Yep,
we're right
there
near the base of the mountains.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and we met our neighbor.
Yes. That was fun.
Yeah. Mike.
He's gonna have 6 of his heifers on the pasture so that we can keep the grass down.
Yep.
Nice.
And we can get the tax break for
yes. So it's a win-win. We get to look at cows and
financial advice.
Yeah, Jeff goes right for
neighbor to put cows on your property, and you can put it in land use.
Well, hey, you're a financial advisor. You're always looking at the tax angles and how to reduce your tax burden, and you help your clients with that. You can help our listeners and viewers reduce their tax burden. And everybody, I mean,
win-win.
especially as you prepare for retirement and are in retirement, you want to make sure you have a plan for the future to reduce. So if you own land out in the country, there are ways to do that. And Jeff, we'll have to do a whole show on the finances of farming
there's a lot that you can do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now you said you had a good harvest.
Yes.
What do you mean? Harvest of
oh my
what?
goodness. The former, the owners that we bought the house from had planted a full garden with all kinds of fruits and vegetables, potatoes, tomatoes, squash.
Because I'm like, you just got the property. How can you have a harvest already?
And she asked me, how do we get to meet the owners? Because typically that doesn't happen.
This is just a crazy story. Like, we went out to
the inspection.
No, we were there just to look at the place, and they were still there.
That's right. And we got to meet them.
And they're
really
amazing
nice
people. We love them. We love them. We still talk. I mean, we were texting with them yesterday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She literally said, "Is there anything special that you'd like me to plant?"
Oh my goodness, you're kidding me.
Yeah, I said, wow. And it's a high-grow culture garden, so you never have to water it.
Never have to water it at all. It's like right up our alley.
And I thought, how is this even possible?
That's right up our alley.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Great.
But we rode the 4-wheeler out there, and I got the tractor out and got to play around with the tractor a little bit.
Yes.
So it was fun. We had a great weekend and really refreshed and ready to go to help our clients this week. So
I want photos of Jeff on a tractor at a farm. I think that's worth it. I need that. That should be my desktop background on my computer screen. Jennifer, that's your job. Get me a picture of Jeff on the tractor.
Okay. I'm on it.
I'll get my
with or without sleeves. It doesn't matter what shirt he's wearing. All right. So you guys had a good one. You were out at the farm. You had some folks over. Now, Jennifer, you came up with a great title for today's show, and you're going to have to explain this to me, what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Jeff, I think you get what she's talking about, but you know me, I'm coming up, I'm bringing up the rear a little slow on the uptake here. You said the most expensive story you tell yourself. The most expensive story you tell yourself. What is that?
Yeah. So things like, I'm just not disciplined, or I'm bad with money, or
I can't do this.
I'm too old to change. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Or I've always been overweight, right? So most people think
I'm big boned.
Right. think those are observations.
It's hereditary.
Yeah.
My dad carried a lot of weight, or my mom carried a lot of weight, or it runs in the family. So the most expensive story you tell yourself, or it's I don't make enough to save.
Exactly.
Or I mean, these are all lies.
That's for the elitists.
So these are expensive because these lies cost us. Is what you're saying.
They're not just
you're lying to yourself.
They're conclusions which become life sentences.
No, they're actually excuses. They're really building out excuses, and then you believe it over time. Like, your mind is a brilliant thing. So if you have all these impressions over time, it starts to be a fact. It starts to become.
You're not intentionally lying. I'm not accusing people of lying, but they've convinced themselves that these things are true, and that makes it the most expensive. They're stories they tell themselves, and they will them into being. Right. It's
right. Well, if someone believes I'm bad with money, every financial mistake becomes evidence, right? That story is true.
Yep.
Sure. And what they don't realize is we all have the same struggles. We all make mistakes,
right?
Yeah.
But it's what we do with those, learning from them rather than turning it into an expensive story.
I'll tell you what mine
tell
is.
ourselves.
I think really mine is that I'm not organized enough, and I can't learn that. Right. So like when I was a kid, like I had this difficulty understanding on a project where to start and where to stop, right? So I wouldn't just dive in, but anyway, my point is like through time I've had to hire out organizational skills because I'm I just don't not comfortable in that space. It doesn't mean I can't do it, and I did it when I was building my business, but as soon as I could afford somebody, I offloaded that because it's just not something I'm comfortable with. But I wonder how much money I could have saved by just being organized. And being able to do those things. Not that I'm, disorganized. My thoughts, and all that stuff are clean. It's just the idea of actually structuring out things is difficult for me, and I didn't want to take the time to actually develop that skill, and that is a very costly thing. So, and Jennifer's desires to learn and to know how to do things. So I've learned an awful lot from her. Just on how to do things the right way, that way.
Yeah. Now you've got me thinking, like, what is the most expensive story that I tell myself? That's a good one.
What about you, Tony? What's the most expensive story you tell yourself?
Ooh, yeah. Sometimes it's like, I'm a spender, or I just don't have enough willpower.
Right.
When it comes to, it's both eating and spending, and I think those are common struggles, but and not to downplay it by saying, oh, everybody struggles with that. That is one of the most expensive stories I tell myself. I'm
that's so funny.
So that's kind of, I mean, you get caught in that. It's a vicious circle, it's like a snake eating its own tail. You get caught in that vicious cycle of, I can't do that. Everybody struggles with that. So do I. That's kind of when it comes to eating, overeating, or spending money. I think those are probably my two biggest things I've had to struggle with over the years. As far as convincing myself that I'm fine, or I've gone from, oh, I don't overeat, I'm fine, I'll be fine, to lying about that, to but it's just I have a big appetite,
right?
I'm fine. Everybody does this, right?
Yeah, I think when it comes to eating, there are times where I convince myself that I'm hungry when I'm really not.
Right.
And
that's 24/7.
Right. Well, I mean,
if you set a pizza in front of me right now, it's like, oh yeah.
Right. Well, if there's a ball game on, if there's a hockey game, or football or something, I'm wanting chips, or I want popcorn, I want something. And so it's really that programmed, from when I was a kid, that's what we did.
Yep.
And so you start to develop that as a pattern, instead of, geez, am I really hungry?
I can't watch TV without a snack or a beverage, and I tell myself that I can't watch. I'm watching TV. I need a snack and a beverage. I don't know what that's a association that I think a lot of people have, and I'm not using that as an excuse, and you shouldn't use it as an excuse, but that is a big one, Jeff.
How about YOLO? You only live once. I mean, that's a big, huge thing that people tell themselves all the time. Like, I deserve this on both sides, right? So I deserve this, like I deserve this, or man, I deserve this. Those are the two areas. Like I really caution people from ever saying that they deserve anything.
Right.
Really, honestly, I really always caution people, do not go to those places, because that is just in your own mind or what people see from the outside.
Yeah. Hey, I had a salad yesterday. I deserve a whole pizza right now.
Right.
I deserve to eat an entire pizza because I ate a salad one meal yesterday.
Yeah, that is the start to every good excuse.
I took a couple bites of kale. Now I get to eat a whole pizza.
Yep. That's true.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's an expensive, and the reason we say these are expensive stories we tell ourselves is because they cost us our health and our finances, right? I mean, that's huge.
And I think on both sides of the fence, fitness, the similar thing happens when, someone says, I've always been overweight, or then they have a bad weekend, right? Or they might miss a workout, or something might fall, they might go off of their plan.
Right.
And instead of saying, I had a bad week, they'll say, see, I told you. This is who I am, So the story is like, it's that self-fulfilling prophecy. And where did the story come from? Like, who gave them that story? Did they decide they were overweight? Did their parents tell them that?
Well,
did their spouse tell them that?
A lot of times that's what happens, right?
Did one bad experience, become that for them? I mean, where does it even come from?
Well, I think about, growing up, my dad was afraid of heights. And so I guess I had to be afraid of heights until I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I was like, geez, I should be afraid, because the person who I think is the strongest is afraid of heights.
Right.
So I didn't want to go over a bridge. Because my dad would get freaked out about going over a bridge.
Right.
So, and then, I was like, I'm going to jump off a cliff just to fix that. So I did. I jumped off a cliff and jumped in water.
Yeah.
Well, and I think this, if you really look back into the past, maybe, for example, I had a client, they shared with me, they still felt, bad about them being picked last in gym class. And we're talking like, middle and high school, right? And that stuck with them.
A lot of middle school trauma for a lot of people. Junior high was the worst time of my life.
Right.
I had a great senior high. Of course, now it's middle school and high school, but back then it was junior high and senior high when I grew up. And in junior high, the middle school years were the roughest for me.
Terrible.
And I think kids are the meanest at that point, and it's a tough time for a lot of folks.
For sure.
And some people get it from family, it's passed on, the sins of the father, or
well, I have a lot of clients that say, well, my parents told me that, all the weight goes to my abs, or all the weight is gonna, if I lose weight, I'm never gonna lose it from my midsection, because my whole family has it that way. And I'm like, that doesn't have to be that way for you.
No, it doesn't. And then you dig a little deeper and realize the whole family drinks a case of beer.
Right.
Well, that might be something to that. Might be something to that. There's probably a reason.
And the cost of that is that they never really put in a solid effort. That's the number piece of it where it comes in. And I think for Jeff, same thing. If someone says that they're bad with money, maybe they just they delay investing for years, right? Because they say they're bad with money, or they never invest. Maybe they just never invest.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
It really is.
And that's what you got to break. You got to break the cycle of that. And sometimes that cycle started with your family or your parents, and not to say they're bad. It's just a cycle that they got into, probably from their parents, or, it's either, I say the two biggest culprits probably are your family or parents and junior high. middle school for me. That's
100%.
I mean, my parents didn't. My dad was not great with money, and they didn't teach me about money. And it's easy for me to blame them, but you can you're responsible for you, right?
Exactly.
I don't care what some kid said to you in junior high or what your parents did. You got to break the cycle and be more self-aware to say, okay, I'm just lying to myself, and I'm guilty of it. I've done that with weight and spending.
I think if you ask 10 people if they want to be fit and wealthy, all 10 say yes.
Well, sure.
All 10 of them.
Yeah.
You know, but if you say, okay, these are the steps that you have to take to become those things, you lose about 6 of them.
At least. Yeah. I mean, all you have to do, all Jennifer had to do to lose me was a one word, Kale. I'm out. I'm out. What do I need to do to lose weight and be healthy? If you say exercise and I'm out.
Yeah.
She didn't even get it out of her mouth. She goes, exercise and I'm out.
I feel like this is a scripture lesson when Jesus, the rich man came up to Jesus and said, what do I have to do to get into heaven? He's like, you have to follow all these rules. And he was like, I did that. He said, great, well, give all your wealth away. And then the man went away sad.
Yeah.
Give everything you have away, and fit that camel through an eye of a needle while you're at it.
Yeah. So I guess the point, well, I don't know why I said that, but the point is that people, don't always want to do what it takes. They want those things and they desire those things. And I'll tell you that what has happened and what I've watched in this country over the years is that this unwillingness to work for anything of great value. They want it yesterday. And if they don't get it, it's somebody else's fault. It's the richest people that have to give up their wealth to give it to them because they're unwilling to work for it. And I think that there is this also on the other side to defend that a little bit. There is a hopelessness because you're looking at social media, you're looking at people who are successful day in and day out, and it's a tough, it's tough to be in that space. But the reality is that you have to shut the distractions off, and you have to stop making excuses, and you have to take the steps to become what it is that you're desiring. You can't just take it from somebody else or blame somebody else or constantly say that you can't. Right. And that's what Jennifer's trying to get across is that, there's no shortcuts here. Really.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. But also you can't look at other people. It's like, oh, they always take great vacations. Right. You need to focus on yourself as far as making these improvements in your own life. If you're constantly comparing yourself to others, that's also the most expensive story to tell yourself is that I need to be like the Joneses. We've heard the phrase keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
100%.
People are always looking for motivation, but that's the wrong motivation. It's just like, I want to be like that person. Nope. You want to be the best you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
you're good. You can be the best you.
Right.
All of that is either looking at someone else or looking in your rearview mirror. Like it's never looking ahead, like what it could be possible. It's always looking at what is there, already, whether it's comparison or what you've done in the past. How about let's think about moving forward.
The future. What can I do now to improve my future?
Exactly.
And that's where I really lacked up until a certain point in my life. Fortunately now, finally, a day late and a dollar short, though, had I realized that when I was in my 20s, I'd be a lot better off right now, especially financially. But
better late than never.
That's right.
But it is better late than never. It's like the old saying, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? Today.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't use the excuse it's too late. I'm too old, or I'm young. I don't have to worry about that. I mean, we make excuses at every stage of our life, don't we? We tell ourselves these expensive stories that cost us in the future.
Well, we have an idea of who we are and our identity in our mind, and then we make excuses to make that come true. So if your identity is that you're going to overspend and be overweight, then you're going to create a narrative to have that come to fruition.
Yeah.
If you have that as a current state of being and you have the idea that I want to change and I'm going to do things, then you start to think outside of that space and that narrative. And you're like, well, that's who I am now, but that's not who I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And you decide And once you've decided it, you're willing to do whatever it takes to make that change. But you have to make that decision, and you have to commit to that new identity that you're working toward. And then instead of I'm overweight, well, I'm working on, becoming this healthier version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes your new narrative. But you have to make that decision, because otherwise it's just stuck. You're going to be stuck in that identity.
Well, because you're never, if you don't make the decision and you're going back and forth, you're never going to really take the steps that it takes.
Right.
It's kind of like that, getting into the water. You just have to jump in. If you try to feel it out, you're going to go back to the shore,
Yeah.
and then you're wasting time. I think people just have to really, set their sights on something much higher for themselves and try to work through the steps to get to it. We have a powerful mind, and we have a voice that also is very powerful. Our words matter.
Yeah. I'd like to use an example, and I don't think she would mind. Pat Board, who was a guest on our show, was a competitive weightlifter. And she shared with me that she had an injury, and that setback took her away from that whole culture and that whole identity that she had. And even the age that she is now, I think she's in her 70s, early 70s. She's had this new realization that, wait a second, just because I can't lift competitively at that level with that amount of weight doesn't mean I can't get back into that arena, in that space, in that culture of being in a gym around weights in general.
Mm-hmm.
And now she has this new excitement of like, wait, what have I been doing? I've been telling myself that, oh, I can't do that anymore.
Right.
But wait, I can, but just not at the level that I once did.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
She's actually, now it's like, wow, I can do this, but in a different way. Her weights are not going to be as extreme, but she's going to get in there, and she's going to meet people, and she's going to have a spotter, and, she's going to get that passion back in her life.
And it's really important for that. And I got to tell you, I've experienced this when I played competitively in hockey, and once that was done, I couldn't even watch a game. Yeah. I couldn't watch a game because I was missing it so badly that I knew that I would never play, at a level, at a high level again. Or cycling, when I started to drop from 24 miles an hour to 20, I had this crushing slide down the wall. Like, who am I if I can't do those things? But the reality is that you get into these things because you're passionate about them, that you love the act of doing them. And I think that is sorely missed, in all of the things that we do, including our finances, including our fitness. When you're attaching meaning behind things like, geez, this is going to represent my retirement. And, this is an employee that I have to pay now who will start working 20 years from now. You have to really identify a reason why you're doing the things that you're doing. And for Pat, that passion to just be in that environment,
in that space,
is enough. It doesn't have to be 1,000 pounds.
Right.
I think that is a really tough thing for competitive people. And we're talking about a wide range of excuses and stories that we tell ourselves. And that is, from people that are victims to people that are over, producers who are saying they're washed up, and that's the thing that's, is such a wide range of, of stories that we tell ourselves that cost a lot.
Yeah. But the good news is, if you created it, you can rewrite it.
Right. It's never too late to change, make a difference. But be looking ahead. What can I do now to improve myself moving forward? Like you say, both with finances and with fitness. I think this has been a very good discussion. It's a great thing for people to think about and just be more self-aware about. And I'm glad you brought it to our attention. I mean, I needed to hear this. Hopefully this helps our listeners and viewers as well today. Now, on the health and fitness side, when it comes to diet and wellness, Jennifer, this is what you do to help people. You help people with that each and every day, all day. And Jeff, with financial planning, investments, insurance, retirement income planning. You help with all sorts of financial planning and look at the big picture.
Yep.
So how can our listeners and viewers get a hold of you to set up these consultations?
So go to our website, which is fitnessfinancepro.com. And then from there, you can book a time to meet with both Jeff and myself.
All right.
And we need to mention that you just got a great accreditation, right?
Oh, yes.
We can't skip an opportunity.
Fredericksburg Fitness is now WOSB certified, women-owned small business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And we're working on the SWAM certification, small women and minority-owned certification.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's exciting. Yeah.
Very
Excellent.
proud of her. She's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, you've built up quite a business there, Jennifer, and congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Great to bring. I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff.
Yeah. Very proud of her. And the sky's the limit with that. So
yes,
it's excellent.
So
excellent. Well, hey, again, before we go, listeners and viewers, go to fitnessfinancepro.com and you can get on their schedule or contact them through that website, fitnessfinancepro.com. Jennifer, Jeff, thanks for all the great information and great conversation today. Listeners and viewers, thanks for tuning in. That does it for today's episode of Fitness and Finance Radio with our hosts, Jeffrey Smith and Jennifer Scherer.